Hey everyone, it's Takara from Kool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Transformers Masterpiece MP-27 Ironhide. For all your Transformer needs, click the link in the description below to head on over to Robot Kingdom. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, so it's always a fantastic day when there's a new mold that is released in the Masterpiece line, and Ironhide is no different. Together with all of these accessories that you get, this is probably one of the best MP releases for a while now. And right up there with the best of the MPs that they've released to date. I'll give you a quick look at the box. So the standard sort of box art, it is slightly larger than the usual Autobot cars that we've had, but that's just because of all the additional accessories and so on, and the larger size of the figure itself. So there is the official license to the Nissan Cherry vignette, and I've got to say the alt mode looks pretty much exactly the way I remember it. So it is pretty damn fantastic. And there's a few pictures of the figure and all the accessories, etc. So there's the box. Because I got this from Robot Kingdom, it also comes with the collector card in this packaging. I've already taken it out, and you pretty much just fold it out and rip it open from there. So overall, not too bad with that van look. And the coin itself is the usual metal coin design, and I do love the fact that it's got all these weapons and so on the other side. So very nicely done coin again, and a great addition to the collection. The accessories, it comes with the usual instruction manual and also the collector card. As I was saying before, I don't really like this new card art, but it does look fairly good on this iteration, and I do like the standard tech spec stuff on the back there. So that's just me protecting it in those Ultra Pro magnetic card holders. The accessories, comes with the weapons platform. I guess the only nitpick that I can really have for the figure is I really did wish that it came with the tank tracks that it looked like it had in the cartoon, for Ratchet at least, and also in the G1 toy. So I guess in my eyes there's plenty of room in here. I would have thought to include some sort of flip out weapons tracks, what do they call it, the tank tracks for this. So unfortunately at the moment with it flat like that, it just sort of sits flat on the ground and can't actually move anywhere. So that's a bit unfortunate. It comes with all of these accessories like the flaming attachments for the backpack, which you can also attach to the weapons platform. I think they go there. There's an instruction manual that numbers everything and tells you where everything should go. It comes with a nice chrome weapon or missile launcher, and the missile is separate. There's no spring action or firing action on this, unfortunately. I guess for safety reasons, but you just plug that in there, and that has the little peg in there, which I assume just goes in the top there. So you can just pose that around like so, which looks pretty cool. Also comes with the very G1-esque center sort of missile cannon thing. I'm not sure where that goes. That probably goes right up the front here. Oh yeah, on that rectangular peg. So just peg it in like so into there. Comes with a whole array of hands and so on, which I'll show when he's in bot mode. So you get the hands that shoot those little bolts out of his fingertips, and these, I can't actually remember what they shoot out of these, if it's just spraying something or something like that. But I guess these might go, they've got little pegs on here, so I think they just go on the side here like so. And similarly for these hands, I guess they might just go on the edges here, or on the other one. So you can mix and match if you wanted. It also comes with these sort of circular peg things. I'm not sure, I can't remember where these were used or what's seen in the cartoon. He must have been spraying something else, but I guess you put it on there like that. And you get this little sensor radar thing, which I think he uses on his forearm in bot mode. And I guess, if I didn't drop it, yeah, I guess you might just plug it in here, or one of the holes in there somewhere, or maybe even right in the middle there would make more sense. What else does he come with? He comes with the backpack. I'm not sure if the backpack was meant to go in there. or something like that. But I guess, yeah, you can mix and match. And these weapons here, I'm not sure where the weapons go actually. I'll just cross-check on the... oh no, here we go. There are some pegs on the side here, so I think you can just slot them in there like that, all in there. And then overall, when it's all sort of decked out, it does look pretty damn good. So I love that they've included that as a separate accessory and not part of the transformation itself. So the van itself is a one-hole, all-in-one transformation, and this is just I guess a bit of parts forming for additional value for money, I guess. And it does look pretty good, so pretty happy with that. Also comes with this little cardboard thing, which I think you insert into his chest plate in bot mode, or perhaps that way. And I think that's where he's trying to search for some Dinobots or dinosaur bones, I think. And of course the last accessory is the alternate head sculpt, which I'll show a bit later in the review, where he's pretty much screaming because Megatron's about to shoot him in the head. So I think that's the most appropriate scene for this particular head sculpt. But on to the van. And what a beautiful van it is. You know, there's only so much you can say about such a mundane sort of car, but when it's Ironhide, it's just friggin' bloody awesome. I love that they've got the chrome detailing on the bumpers here. I guess I did notice that mine here on the front has this weird sort of shadow or stripe of black. I'm not sure what that is, because from some angles it seems to disappear, or it does reflect light and so on. So it's not an actual scratch, but it just seems to be, and it's not even a dent, so it's just I don't know if it's just some sort of weird defect. But I do have another one coming, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, but just something to notice. But other than that, the paint application overall, I guess there's a tiny bit of missing yellow there, but everything else is pretty much perfect. Not too many scuffs or anything like that, like some of the previous MPs had. Do love the tamped on symbol on his chest there, and that looks pretty damn good. So overall, no rubber wheels or anything, and clean on the bottom, and it does roll very nicely as well, so can't complain about that at all. So with this official Nissan design, I'm not sure where the logo is, unless, no, that doesn't look like a logo there. I guess there's no logo on the car that I can see, but either way, it looks straight out of the cartoon, if you ask me. And out of all the official figures and the third-party figures, I have to say that the alt mode of this MP definitely looks the most like how I remember Ironhide to be anyway. And I do love that they've got the throwback to the original G1 toy here, with the head sculpt, or the G1 toy head sculpt showing through the windscreen there, which is very nice. But luckily that doesn't actually transform into the head from what I've seen. I think there's a little thing at the top here where you can insert some of the weapons in, but I won't bother just in case it scratches that paint or anything like that. But you can just plug it in there. But other than that, that's pretty much it. A beautiful alt mode, and I'll start doing the transformation now. Hold on. Alright, so with the transformation, you pretty much start by unpegging all of this section at the back here, which is pretty easy. You just fold that all up, and fold it up vertically like so. And then these side windows, you can just rotate out. And you just be careful of that little joint there. You just fold it out like so until it pretty much folds all the way up like that. And you do the same on this side. Once you do it the first time, it becomes quite a bit easier. That I've found. And you just fold that up without breaking anything. I'm terrible at doing these on camera, but you get the idea anyway. And then I think you just fold these out like so, and just make sure you clip that in place like that. So if I just do it on this side, you pretty much just fold this out, and there's the little peg in there. You just peg it in like so, and then you can fold it all the way up, pretty much like that. Alright, so you then next just fold it at this joint here at the top, so it folds down like that, and then this whole sort of hinge section down here, you pretty much just sort of gently see if you can unpeg it from the bottom here, and then just extend it out like that. It's on this sort of weird double joint there, and then you get a reveal of his head sculpt there. So then you extend it out like so. Now this next bit is a little tricky and took me a couple of times to sort of get right. You pretty much need the arms up here pretty much straight with him. So he's trying to get this whole back section as forward as you can, and make his arms sort of flush with that shoulder area like so, and have these windows as close as you can. And then as you bring this down, just make sure the sides of these extend past the windows. So you sort of just bend that down like so. If I can keep that actually straight, so you sort of bend that down and get it straight like so. Hold on. Yeah, so to bend this, you pretty much I just needed to sort of stick my fingers up in there and then just bend it down, and you should hear a little click like so. So you bend that down, and then you get this section in line with the rest of the torso there. And so as you keep that all sort of straight, you can then push this in. And I think you just need to be careful to make sure that it goes underneath essentially the armpits there, and then you should be okay. So you just sort of push that in and make sure the back stays straight, and you keep pushing in and it'll clip in place like so. So overall, it is a little bit scary the first time, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And I think then it just sort of sits on the top of the cab there like that. So overall, not too bad a design, but just a bit scary the first time you do it. Once you get to that point, you pretty much get to the wheels now, and the back wheels here, you just clip them open a little bit to give them a bit of room. If I can actually bend that joint, maybe you just flip it in a little bit and then extend it out like so. Bend it in a little bit so it sort of is on the outside, and that gives it the clearance to then fold in and get pushed in. So you just fold it in and get pushed in like that, which is pretty good. And then essentially you can then start folding out all of these panels here. And again, I guess for me at least, this was a little bit scary as well, because I'm definitely paranoid about paint scratches. But essentially you just fold that open, and then just make sure you fold that joint back on that double joint there, so you can then fold that in nicely like so. Alright, so there is a double sort of joint there, so just make sure you don't flex it too much, but essentially bend it over, hold that joint in, and it'll sit nice and flush like so. The next one is these panels on the side here, so you pretty much fold that down, and because this little piece is in the way, you sort of need to get underneath this little tab right there, which holds it in place, but it is a bit scary because again there is a risk of paint scratching on the bottom of the panel there. So essentially what I had to do was really bend this piece out of the way and then clip it in like so, so that peg sort of fits over the top. And then you do the same on this side, and then just pull that as far as you can, clip that over the top like so. Alright, then you get to the feet essentially, so you can pull them apart. At the bottom here there is a peg in there. Luckily it wasn't anywhere near as tight as the Trax hood, which was an absolute pain in the ass. Once you get those apart, you can then pull the knees down with one click like so, like that, and then you just rotate that all the way around. You get a feel for his sort of iconic lower legs there, and very chunky in the usual Ironhide fashion. And then the feet here, just rotate them around. They're on a nice little like a clicky joint, and you just flick it around like that. Love that ankle rocking action there. And then the heel joint just pretty much folds out like so. So you just fold that out, and that pretty much forms the lower leg. Love that there's the bit of play in the ankle there and the rocking action, so lots of articulation in the ankles there. Alright, so for these panels here, you then just gently unpeg it from the bottom there and pull the panels out. So there's a little peg just in there, and you just slide those out like that, and that gives you enough clearance down there to then swing the legs forward like so, and then you just rotate these up like that, and then you pretty much turn them around, and you'll see these peg holes at the back here that'll fit into these slots here. So you just bend those around and rotate them around to just line it up, and then just push in far enough that you can then start pegging in. I think I've just pushed it in too far, so just pull them out, and then you can just squeeze and peg them in like so. So just rotate it again, bend it in, and push it in like so. So that gives you a feel for the way he looks at the back. I guess people have complained about the wheels on his butt there, but you know, I don't display my figures from the back like that, so I couldn't really care. I guess the biggest issue for me when I first started looking at these figures was the panels on the hips here, but once I got him into the bot mode, he looked pretty much awesome enough as it was, and these panels really didn't deter from that look, but I'll get to that in a second. Right, so you then just flip out this little silver panel at the bottom here, so flip that all the way out, and then this hood piece, you just need to unclip it like so, and then it's on another one of those weird hinge joints that you then lift all the way up, and these two pegs on the chest here will fit into the two slots that you see there. So you just sort of raise it above, and then just push it in like that, and that is pretty much it. You're pretty close there apart from the arms. So with the arms here, just flick them up like so, and then rotate them around on that particular joint. And as you'll notice, as I rotate them out, they do become sort of unpegged, which is exactly why there's these little shoulder pegs here. So you just fold that down and peg it into place like so. So just make sure everything's aligned and peg it into place pretty much like that. And so for the arms, you then just, if I just rotate them out there, you just open up from which direction? From that direction there, which will reveal the fist. So you then just flick out the fist there, and then fold. Oh no, you then have to extend this elbow, so just bend it out like so. It feels like it's on a pretty sturdy joint there. I think that's the way it's supposed to look, like that. Then just fold that down, and then squeeze that through there like that. And there you pretty much have his arm. And then you can bend it at the elbow there. And then you just do the same on this side. Just open it up like so. Extend out that forearm. And clip it out like that. Fold that through. And then, oh, I didn't actually fold the wrist out. And then fold that up. Just get that pegged in there like so. And that is pretty much it. You can rotate that out. And that is Ironhide. Alright, so I love the way this guy looks, the size and proportion of everything. In the original prototype photos, I actually thought it did look a bit out of whack, particularly the hip panels here. But now that you have him in hand, the overall look is just pretty damn incredible, to be honest. I'll just start off with the head sculpt. There were quite a lot of complaints with the head sculpt in the original sort of prototype photos and so on, and some teaser pics where the head did look a little bit too thin, but I think that might have been just because the photos were either overstretched in the vertical direction, just because of the way they were posted from some of the Asian countries, because in hand I think the head sculpt is pretty damn good. I haven't tried swapping out the head sculpt yet, but I'll give that a go in a second, just to see how difficult it is. But I'll give you a rundown of the figure. The chest, I guess some people have complained about the chest, and that, you know, in the cartoon this was a bit more angled down and so on, but you know, that was a cartoon model, whereas this is a real 3D model of a vehicle, and so you can't really cheat it out of that. And the compromise I think that they've gone with is pretty damn good. The articulation in the arms, I love that it's got the ratchets out to the side, and you can see the clear ratchets in the forward and back direction. So no friction joints there, all ratcheted, which I actually do like the stability in that. The elbow, it does have a joint here and a swivel, so it can go to about 90 degrees like so, and you can swivel it out fairly tight at the bicep there, so just be careful. And it does have the wrist rotation as well, so plenty of articulation there. It does have a waist swivel as well, and it's not really hindered by the hip panels, which is good, so plenty of rotation there. In the hip panels here, he's got these little flaps that you can lift up like so, just so you can get his legs up a bit further like that. So plenty of articulation there. You can rotate the thigh there, and on a nice ratchet joint for the knee there to about that angle, just before 90 degrees. And you can put his leg back as well. I do love the ankle rocking motion, which I love on any figure, to be honest. And you can also slightly rotate the toe here just on the transformation rotation. But overall, that looks pretty damn fantastic. He does have some of the accessories that you can put on him, so I'll go through that now. Hold on. Alright, with the pistol, it's pretty much like all the other MPs, where the handle has that little peg in there, and the hands have the little slot that you see right there, and you pretty much just squeeze it in there. I can never do it that easily, but Ironhide's fingers seem to be a bit bigger. If I can actually squeeze it in there. I can't seem to quite get it in there. Something along those lines. I think it pegged in not too straight. I think you can squeeze it in a bit more, but I can't be bothered pushing it in too hard. But you can get it in there from what I've seen on some of the photos. So that's pretty much how you put the pistol in. I also just noticed that the handle for this chromed weapon can also be put into the hand, like so. So pretty much the same sort of approach, if you can actually get it slotted in there properly. Mine doesn't seem to want to go in too straight, but that could just be mine and my attempt at it. But maybe that's a bit of a throwback to, I don't know, I can't remember if the G1 character had this sort of weapon, other than on the weapons platform. But I guess that's an alternate option if you wanted to go for that look. Next, he does have a whole bunch of swap out hands, so you pretty much just reverse the transformation and flip the wrist back in to the hand there, like so, and that reveals this little knob here, and so you can get these hands, if I get the right side, with the particular slot, I think, and you just slot it in there like so. So I can't remember exactly which scene this was, if he's just shooting things from his fingertips. So there's that option, and then there is the option for this particular hand. I do remember him using that in the cartoon, but I can't exactly remember why and which episode. But I do remember him using that in at least one of the episodes. And then there's this round option. I can't remember him ever using that, unless it was in the same scene as this, and I just can't remember. But I guess that's another option there. And I think that's it for the swap out. Then I guess you can then use this little sensor thing and stick it in the hole on top here. So you just plug it in there, and I think that's from the scene where, I don't know if it's searching for Dinobots or something like that, but it also comes with this little cardboard painted thing which looks like a dinosaur skeleton, and I can't remember if it's inserted. It must be inserted in this direction, or is it this way? I can't. Might be that way if that fits the windshield. But essentially, you insert that in, and I guess it recreates that scene from when he's searching for the Dinobots or something. So I guess if you want that look, it's a pretty good approach that they've included all of those accessories to allow that. The other accessory is the missile launcher, and essentially you just have the peg in the bottom here, and you can put it in the hole at the back like so. And I can't actually remember which episode this was in either, but it might have been where he was flying around, I think, and this just pops up out of his back and he shoots something. So I guess a nice option that they've included all of those throwbacks to the cartoon. He also has this jetpack, and so you pretty much just grab these flame things and insert them into the bottom here, like so, which isn't too bad in its look. And then you pretty much just peg that into the same hole as before. So just insert that in there, and it gives you that look there. So I guess he must have used this in the cartoon sometime to fly off into the sky, which is, I guess, a little bizarre for me, in that there were a few episodes where they were all sort of flying anyway without any additional need for jetpacks or rocket launchers and that sort of stuff. So I guess there's plenty of inconsistencies in the old cartoon, but I guess it's good that they've included all of these accessories to cater for all of those looks. Well, with the head, I just pulled it off because it was much easier to do than the Bumblebee was, that's for sure. So you pretty much just insert it in like so, and just peg it in, and then there's a little notch here at the top here, and you pretty much just dig your fingernail in there, and it'll come out pretty easily. I just noticed that sort of moves as well to give it a bit of play, which is good. And then you get the alternate head sculpt with him screaming with his mouth open, and just pretty much insert it in the same way like so. So that's a pretty good look. So I guess this is probably the best head sculpt to use if you've got, for example, a Polyon from X-Transbots, and you recreate that scene where Megatron shoots him in the head. So that's probably the most appropriate scene for that particular face. But again, a nice little addition and a throwback to the cartoon that they've thrown in. Alright, so I'll finish up the review with a size comparison with Optimus, Sideswipe and Bumblebee, and I gotta say, with all of these guys together, I think Takara have absolutely nailed the aesthetic, the scale, just the whole look of the G1 cartoon in these recent MPs over the last year or two. I think the way they've done Ironhide, just up to just below the shoulder on Optimus, and Sideswipe up to about his waist, and Bumblebee, of course, down there. Just the sort of variations and the accuracy to the cartoon. For all of its inconsistencies, I think they've done a fantastic job in getting that look, and still looking fantastic in alt mode as well. So absolutely can't complain about this Ironhide figure. I had my reservations when the prototype pictures came out, but even with these hip panels here, I mean, even now they don't really all bother me all that much at all. And these wheels at the back, well, I guess I don't really display the figures facing in that direction, so I'm pretty much okay with it. But overall, there's very little kibble. He looks nice and compact, and it's an all-in-one transformation into that gorgeous alt mode. So absolutely cannot complain about this. It's a shame mine's got this weird little shadow, but I have another one on the way regardless. So I can't complain about this figure too much at all. So if you're into this MP line and you love your G1 cartoon, I would definitely highly recommend it. So hopefully you can click through and head over to Robot Kingdom and check them out, because they are a pretty damn good retailer. So hope you guys like that quick look at Ironhide. Hopefully you can stay tuned, because I do have the Fans Toys FT13 Mercenary, aka Shrapnel, coming up next. So hopefully you can stick around for that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.